Hi everyone. Oh, that's a different view when it goes live. It's a bigger picture. Excellent. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Right. So thank you everyone for coming to join us for our masterclass on chicken suit soup. So this is our absolute signature dish here at Centre for Cancer Nutrition because it suits so many different treatment side effects. Now, for those who I haven't met before, I'll do a bit of a quick intro for you because you might think, well, who's this chick doing this stuff and telling me what to do with my treatment side effects? I'm one of you. I've been there. I had breast cancer a number of years ago and I had AC chemo, I had Zoladex, I had all the hot flushes and the yuckies that go with that, and then I had 5 years of tamoxifen. Now, with my initial chemo, my side effects started basically 3 hours after the first infusion. And my friend Kate doesn't let me talk about this, but I was as sick as a dog, put it that way. And eating food was absolutely impossible. And I dropped that many kilograms over a really short space of time. I was malnourished. And my husband and I had absolutely no idea how to eat around these side effects. So, I had a mouthful of ulcers, so there's basically nothing could go in. And there was there was no help, we're talking a number of years ago, there was no help and no place that I could actually go to for help and ask for help. And a number of years after, when I thought, well, gee, all these people are still going through the same thing as I went through, I'm going to help them. And I'd worked out quite a number of ways of everything you could do with food to get around pesky side effects and still be able to eat. Right, so what we're going to do today is our chicken suit soup recipe. And this one, as I say, it's a great winter recipe. It's nice and warming, and we are in our first week of winter here in Melbourne. And I tell you, it's freezing. You might see behind me, if you've ever watched any of my live videos before, I'm normally in our kitchen. Well, that's inside and it's pretty dark and sort of a funny old colour on camera. We're now it's almost finished. We're in our purpose-built filming kitchen. So I've sectioned off part of our garage. So I'm actually in my garage, done it up a bit. It's not quite finished. The oven's going to be going into there later today, and I'm going to have a bench top behind me as well later today. So we didn't quite get there, but we've got there enough that we can do this recipe. Okay, so let's get into it. So what we're going to start with, look, it's a really easy recipe. You can find it on our website. It's just called Chicken Suit Soup. When you go to our recipes page now, we actually have a filter there. So if you click on meal type, you can scroll down to soups and you'll go straight to it. That was something we've just installed on there. And the feedback I've had on that is absolutely loving it. And I'm loving it too. It makes it easier for me to find our recipes. So really, there's not a lot of really fixed ingredients about this recipe. You can follow along. But what I've got today, so I have chicken, and this is probably the first thing I will say for the first side effect is lack of energy. I couldn't get my head off the pillow because I was so fatigued with my treatment. So cooking was almost impossible. So you don't want to, shouldn't be complicated. You don't want to be standing there trying to chop all these ingredients. It's a waste of energy, waste of time, and seriously, you don't have to do it these days. So what I've got is, rather than cooking a chicken breast, I just got a barbecue chook from a local supermarket and shredded it. That's the first thing you can do. The other things I've got here, I've got stock cube here. So we've got chicken stock. I've used a stock cube. No need to make up stock. The veg here, I'm using frozen veg, and I'm using, this one's here, it's called a Super Greens blend. I just get it from Woolies. Just let me show you. It's that one. So can you imagine how long it would take you to chop all of that veg to go in here? And blow that is what I say. Same with the garlic. If you put garlic in it and ginger, you can stand there and, grate a thing of ginger, or you can buy a thing of ginger paste or minced ginger. Really easy. Okie doke. So what we will do, this is so easy, it just goes into the one pan, and then I can talk to you about what we need to do for other side effects. So now just let me see. I'm not very good with this induction cooktop, I have to say. We'll just put that on. Pretty much you're just putting everything in the one saucepan. So I've got my chicken in there. I've got some really big bits I haven't cut up. My veggies going in there. Haven't had to cut a thing yet. Works for me. And the stock's going to go in. I'm not sure I've actually got enough stock. Could probably do with a bit more stock. But as I say, don't bother measuring anything. So I've got half a barbecue chicken, half a cup of frozen corn, half a cup of frozen edamame, and a handful of that veg mix. That's it so far. And I can see there's like a whole chicken breast in here that I haven't shredded, so we'll just deal with that. So I'm going to get that blipping away here. Now at this point is where you can add some things. I've added in that chicken stock cube, and I'm just using this Massel chicken stock cube, and it's low salt. Now, for anybody who is struggling with everything tasting really salty, even the reduced salt stock cubes won't do it for you. They will still be too salty. The best solution for that is actually come up with a like a herb infusion. Go and grab some herbs from the garden, thyme, rosemary, parsley, anything you like, and just infuse them into some hot water and use that as a stock. Or you could just soak some of your chicken, or plain water would do it as well. That way you will actually really reduce the saltiness of the stock. Now I need to get, I'm not sure how much load I can use on my electrical power points in the garage either, so if it all goes awry, you know what's happened. I've tripped the switch. There we go. Now into this, I'm going to add some of this ginger paste. Can't remember which one I've got here. Oh, it's a new one. Excellent. As I say, don't bother grating ginger. And again, don't bother measuring. This is really one you need to do to suit your taste. Okay, now I am going to talk about nausea in a moment. So ginger's usually really good for settling a nauseous tummy. A lot of people don't like it. If you're looking for a bit of sweetness in this, you can swap that out for some cinnamon. I know it sounds really daft, but it does actually work in here. And it's really just a sprinkle on top. Or you might want to add that at the end as well. So this is, oh yeah, we're getting there. We're nearly boiling. Had hot stock. Okay, so let's talk a bit about loss of taste and loss of smell. So this is something that's really common with different treatments. Okay, I'll get it out today, and also with COVID. So what we want to do is we want to be a bit inventive with how we get our taste and our flavour in our mouth again in the absence of it. So what we will be looking for is actually using different textures. So with this soup here, you might not want to add the veg until later, so you've got a bit of crunch in there still. So your mouth goes, oh, that's a bit interesting, rather than not tasting anything. You can add crunch in other ways, which I'll talk about in a little bit. What is that? Okay, hi Mark. Well, we're just flipping here. We also want to use ingredients that will stimulate what's called the trigeminal nerve. So that's a bit of steam here. That's the nerve that on our tongue that when we have chili, so it makes our tongue burn a bit, or we have wasabi and it sets the nose off, and like when we have mint or eucalyptus, has that really cooling effect in the mouth. So there's a lot of different things we can do there to give the mouth some interest. We also want to play with different temperatures as well. So you might have your soup nice and warm, but you can then add in some cooler veg, or you might add in a dollop of cold Greek yogurt on top, just to have that bit of, again, that warm cold thing. And it's about layering, really. We also want to use, for loss of taste, we want to use a lot of umami ingredients. And what I mean by umami, it's our fifth taste. So we have sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. And umami is the one that's like, gives it food really that deliciousness. And it's the one that will give flavour the biggest bang for its buck when we've got really dull taste buds. So what we can use there is we can use, you can put in some soy sauce, you can put in some Worcestershire sauce, things like that. You can put in some wasabi, that will do it. You can add peas. Peas are really high in umami factor, so that would be another great one to add in there. Right, so that's boiling enough because I don't want to hold you here all day, so I'm going to turn that off and start talking to you about nausea. Now this soup, if you had this for nausea, it might seem like it's fairly bland, but if you've got nausea in that, you are actually being ill, you don't want to have any of this veg in it, because all of this corn, the edamame, any other veg you've got in there, It's all fibrous, it's all roughage. As soon as that hits a really delicate tummy, game over. I can attest to this because after my first chemo, I ended up back in hospital so they could control the nausea. And the doctor said to me, okay, so just eat some plain things. And I thought I was pretty clear about what plain things were. So my lunch arrived and I thought I'll have a go. And I ate the green beans. And well, that didn't go down well. And I said to him, but for me, vegetables are plain and I love vegetables. And he said, yeah, that's not quite what I meant. They're just too rough, too fibrous. And of course that set off my vomiting again. So lesson learnt. What we need to do for this, so I'm going to make it nausea friendly for you. What we will do is we're going to take some of this chicken soup. I've got a strainer here. Good one this, nice strainer. It's plastic and silicone, and that way if you're struggling with metallic taste, then you won't add to that. So what we'll do is we'll take this out. I'm going to hold it over here because I'm just really good at making a mess. And we're going to put some of this into here. There we go. And what that's going to do, so we're separating the solids from the liquid. It's the liquid here that you will be able to eat. It's not full of the roughage and the fibre, and it will be much gentler on a tummy. So when we're talking about foods for nausea, and especially liquids, you're looking sort of like clear liquids and stock, and that's exactly what this is. But this particular stock has a lot of flavour to it, so that will brighten your day no end. Pop that over there. I'm just going to grab, sorry, come back to you, some bowls up here. And in this little bowl, I didn't make very much, but it'll be enough. As you can see, that's a nice clear liquid, and that will be absolutely okay for anybody who's suffering with nausea and also a sore mouth. So again, sore mouth, difficulty swallowing, make these ingredients as small as you possibly need them. When we come to whiz up the soup, you might, for difficulty swallowing, you might want it just that little bit thicker, because often slightly thicker liquids and soups will be easier to swallow than just the thinner ones. But for the moment, this is our nausea one, so I can't really tip it and show you, but that's a nice clear broth with a lot of flavour. Let's just pop that one there. I don't know that you can see that there. Oh look, let me move my broccoli and my asparagus. There we go. Now, you might be thinking, well, what are you going to do with leftover solids here? What I would do with these is take them in portions and put them into freezer bags and freeze them. That way, when you're up to it, you can start adding these back into your soups and your broths, and then you've got more nutrition in there, a lot more protein, which is great for our muscles and our energy. So certainly don't discard this, whatever you do. Just portion it up, pop it in the freezer, save it for another day when your tummy's up to it. That's that one. I'm just going to pop that back into here for the minute. Hopefully you can't see my mess at the front there. Okay, now the next one is we're talking about the difficulty swallowing and chewing, even dry mouth and throat for this, because when you're chewing up vegetables and ingredients, it can actually take the moisture out of the food and make it a bit dry in the mouth. So what we're going to do is actually blend some. Oh, that's finally turned off. So I'm going to take a bit here and pop it in to my little who's what's it. It's a blendy container. Add a bit of that, and I'm just going to, fraught with danger doing this, because I'll see if I can actually, I've made that reach. Okay. It's potential to get covered. So sorry, a bit of noise just while I do this. There we go, that's done. Ooh. Now again, you can make this as smooth or as chunky as you like. Put that over there. Okay, and into another bowl. We're going to have this little mixture here. And you can see it's not too, if you need to thin it, just put in some extra stock. There we go, so that's that one. So we've dealt with that as well. Let's just move, ooh, handy shelf underneath. That's those two. And the other one, of course, is just as is. Now I'm going to talk a little bit, local wasp has decided to come in. So I just like cooking outdoors. And we're just going to pop this one into here. Now I'm going to talk to you a bit more about texture and adding texture in, because I've got some really cool little things here. And a bit more, okey-doke, and that's just normal chicken soup as is. Righto. Let's add in some more texture with the toppings. So again, absence of flavour, taste, smell, everything just tasting bland. We want to make it exciting again. Now these little things here, where's my bag? I discovered these the other day. These are wasabi peas. These are a twofer as far as I'm concerned, because they give you crunch and they also give you that that heat in the mouth from the wasabi. So you're stimulating the trigeminal nerve. So you've covered two things with one. So you can just, sprinkle these on top or stir them through. They're a great one for adding extra texture, but you're also getting something else in there as well. With the dry mouth and difficulty swallowing, you might want to add in a bit of olive oil. I forgot to mention that before as well. It helps it go down and slide down easier. Now, other toppings you could use, and these have got a bit of umami factor in them as well as the peas. I've got these are tamari almonds. You can cut those up, chop them up, sprinkle them on. Again, you can just add in some chili flakes if you want to as well. Now these ones, if everything's tasting too salty and you want to add a bit of sweetness, might want to consider these. These are called Protein Power. They're a pea protein, hemp and honey almonds. And there's another one I've seen which is maple covered cashews. Sounds silly, but they actually go really well with the soup. So if you need things for a bit sweeter, add in those. I've got some smoke and corn here, so if you need the smoky flavour with the crunch. I've got, big umami these are. You could have put these in the soup to start with. These are little seaweed sheets, and these are, I think they're sweet chili ones. I think you get salt and pepper, salt and vinegar ones. So there's something in there for everyone. Just tear them up and stir them through. That will give you a bit more if you need it as well. And the last one I have here are, you might be wondering what I'm doing with some Red Rock Deli things, but again, really interesting flavours in these, and they just might suit you. So you just take these and you just, I'm going to stick my jacket in this in a minute, just crumble them up on top, just for that extra texture. Okay, now just let me check my list, because I do have a bit of a list to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. And I haven't. Okay, so that is Chicken Suit Soup Masterclass. I hope it was anyway for you. I hope you've learnt something out of this. It's about being inventive. Sorry, I'm just shooing away. There's a wasp who really likes the smell of the soup, so I'm just shooing him away. It's about being inventive and thinking outside the square, just so you can actually get some nutrition in and you don't become malnourished during treatment with your side effects. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, and we're going to be having lots more cooking classes and lessons and master classes coming up, so I will see you again soon. I'm going to have to run around and turn off the camera because hubby's gone inside, okay? I'll see you again soon, and thanks, Marg. Thanks, bye. I'll just turn me off.